You're watching the Battered Fans Network.
Welcome, everybody, to episode number 21 of the Battered Heat Fans Podcast. I'm your host, Daniel Garana, and alongside me, as always, Mr. Daniel Solana. How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing great, baby. I'm doing great. The Heat got another win last night. They beat the Philadelphia 76ers. And Danny, we are just beating up everybody in the East. We have one team left that I need to see the Heat play against to see how real we are, and that's the Detroit Pistons next Saturday. But up to now, Danny, the Heat, in my opinion, are the best team in the Eastern Conference. And what a win last night over the Philadelphia 76ers. It was close. It was close at points of the game. But one of the things that this Heat team has been so well with this season is in the clutch, right? In the last 5 minutes of the game. And wow, this team was unbelievable in the clutch, and they were able to close out that win. Again, over 120 points. This is crazy, Danny. This is crazy.
I will try to figuratively take off my Miami hat. Right? I'm not going to take it off, but figuratively, because I agree with you to an extent. I think the Miami Heat have been playing amazing, and I'm not going to argue they are the best in the East because they've beaten the other supposed best teams in the East so far. The only thing I will tell you is that leading up to the last two games against the Bulls and against the Sixers, I thought that they weren't playing that well. They lost to the Cleveland Cavs, which is by far the worst loss in the season. Then they went to New York. Jalen Brunson was injured. They lost that game. Then they came back. They beat the Knicks at home, but they were up by 10 with like 2 minutes left. And remember, they almost gave away that game. And then I'm forgetting the game after that, but I remember thinking to myself that game wasn't solid either. What was the game after that Knicks game? That was, the Warriors game, where the Warriors had nobody playing. Eventually, they pulled away, but it almost felt like the Cleveland game from 7 days prior. So I was hyped that they were winning, right? Because you beat who's on the schedule. You rack up your wins regardless. But I'm feeling much better now because that Bulls win I thought was very convincing, and Philadelphia, even though that they had their injured players also, VJ Edgecombe wasn't playing, and I get it, but we haven't been healthy either. And the way Khalil Ware is freaking looking, man, because I don't want to get overhyped because with him it's ebbs and flows, but it feels like that text message from Udonis Haslem after that Knicks loss. It ignited something because it feels like when Spoelstra does it, it's like with a match, right? And then it quickly like flames out after one good performance. But Udonis Haslem, that text message is like a flame torch up his ass, and it hasn't gone out. And he looks so much more active. He's active on the offensive side of the ball. Defensively, he's looked a little better. Rebounding the ball, he's figured it out. Maybe he did look at those videos of Mitchell Robinson and study them because he's been rebounding like a madman now. I think he had 16, was it yesterday? Like
16.
He is looking so good, and he could keep this up. Yes, the Heat could be the best team in the East if Khalil Ware is playing like this consistently.
Absolutely. Not only Khalil Ware, but Norman Powell, right? Norman Powell, 32 points, 4 rebounds, 1 assist, a 12 plus minus, which was lower than Khalil Ware. Khalil Ware had a 26 plus minus. Yesterday was the Khalil Ware game, right? He played against a tough matchup in terms of a good defensive player in Andre Drummond. Obviously, he's not a spring chicken anymore, but he's still a big body and he can still play good defense. And Khalil Ware,
wait.
20.
You see how many rebounds Andre Drummond had? Because he
made 20 plus
24 rebounds. He made his career off of getting rebounds. He's still 24 freaking rebounds. Jesus.
Yeah, it's crazy. But yesterday was the Khalil Ware game, right? Although, Drummond got those many rebounds. Again, 20 points, 16 rebounds, a 26 plus minus. Like you said.
Rebounds.
I know. Like you said, Danny, like you said, something must have happened with Udonis Haslem's text. We probably aren't allowed to say it on air, the exact words that he said, but he definitely lit a fire under not only his butt, but under his entire body because he's been a completely different player after that Heat Knicks game.
Davion Mitchell, tough assignment. You got Tyrese Maxey. not an easy assignment because Tyrese Maxey is an absolute ball. He just randomly became the face of the Philadelphia 76ers. And although Tyrese Maxey got hot at some point, like in the third quarter, he ended up with 27 points. I thought Davion Mitchell did a great job on him. Davion Mitchell, 8 points, 2 for 6 from shooting. Doesn't bother me at all. He ended up with 12 assists. Now it's a little disappointing, right? Because I enjoy that every time we say, and guess how many turnovers? I like throwing up to 0. He had 1 turnover, but he had 12 assists. Davion Mitchell, man, is becoming by far and away my favorite player to watch on this team. Like he is a pit bull. You know what you're gonna get with him. If he's not scoring, he's contributing in other ways. And Davion Mitchell had himself a game. And then one other person before I throw it back to you that I want to bring up real quick, Pelle Larsson. He frustrated me yesterday. We're recording this on Monday morning, by the way. He frustrated me yesterday because I had like a 9-game parlay, and then I randomly threw in a Pelle Larsson 10 points to kind of ice it. He's the only thing that didn't hit. He shot so poorly yesterday. He was 2 for 13 from the field, 0 from 6 for 3. And what killed me is that he would get to the free throw line. I was like, all right, we got some points here. 2 for 5 from the free throw line. He ended up with 6 points. So, yes, he frustrated me based off of my bet. But he did so many other things. The way he was taking charges out there, he like prime Kyle Lowry taking charges out there. Like Pelle Larsson has figured out ways to contribute outside of just scoring the basketball. He's not even making those stupid fouls. Like last year, he would constantly be in foul trouble. He had 3 fouls. He took those 2 charges. He had 8 assists. Pelle Larsson, 7 rebounds. Pelle Larsson had himself a great game without scoring, which killed me, but with a great game without scoring. So shout out to Pelle Larsson because he had himself a great game also.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, my son was onto something when he talked about Davion Mitchell being his favorite player. And I don't want to take responsibility for, Davion Mitchell's play the last couple of weeks. But ever since my son met Davion Mitchell and told him, hey, you're my favorite player, and then Davion Mitchell's face just lit up, he's been on a different tear. So, again, I don't want to blame it on or put the responsibility on my son. But, it is what it is. Facts are facts. And Pelle Larsson, unfortunately, like you said, rough shooting night, but he fills the stat line in all categories when you need him, and that's exactly what he did last night. 7 rebounds, 8 assists, really an unbelievable game. And then we can't talk any much more about Jaime Jaquez Jr., right? Again, leading the bench, logging in almost 33 minutes, 22 points, 7 assists, 2 rebounds, really, really efficient game. He shot 10 for 12. He's just playing on another level. And not only that, but I feel like he sees the game at a much slower pace than what he was seeing it over the last couple seasons, because you see him get into the paint and relentlessly and effortlessly get to the basket and he just throws up those floaters, and they all drop in, every single one. So really, really strong game from Jaime Jaquez Jr. You see him finishing the games with the starters. And look, he deserves it, man. He is by far, up to this point, the most improved player in the NBA. It is not even close. And he could possibly be the 6th man of the year so far for the National Basketball Association.
I agree. And as far as most improved, a lot of people have been hearing talk about Josh Giddey, but I felt like Josh Giddey was playing pretty good last year. So I don't know how I have to check the numbers to see the difference there. I think it's just because the Bulls are playing well that they're considering Josh Giddey. Jaime Jaquez, 22 points, 2 rebounds, 7 assists, and he had a couple rough nights in a row. So it was nice seeing him come out aggressive. He doesn't back down from anybody. Fontecchio, 2 for 7 from 3. He's been really off over the last couple of days, and that happens with shooters. But like we were talking about a couple episodes ago, I feel like every time he shoots, I expect it to go in. So it's been really weird the last couple of games to see him a little off. But he had 6 points, 2 for 7 from 3. Drew Smith, another solid game, 9 points, 4 for 7, 1 for 2 from 3, 4 rebounds. Just a solid game, top to bottom. And then I guess we could talk about Bam Adebayo. We haven't been getting dominated in the board since Bam came back. I don't know if playing next to, even though Khalil Ware and Bam don't really play that much together, they start, but then they kind of stagger them. But I don't know if that's helped Khalil Ware a bit. We out-rebounded the Sixers 58-46. We got 18 offensive rebounds. That has to be the most all season long. And obviously,
between Bam and Khalil, total rebounds. They had 29 total rebounds. The
Yeah.
Heat had 58. So between the two of them, they had half of the Heat's rebounds.
I will tell you one thing that I wish that they would, and again, it's nitpicking at this point. I wish they'd get more blocks. We had 2 total blocks all game, one from Kashad Johnson, one from Drew Smith. I don't remember the Drew Smith one.
I
don't
just
remember
want us to win, Danny. I just want us to
No,
win. As
yeah, I
long as
know.
we keep winning,
I know,
I don't care if we.
obviously.
But
Obviously.
blocks are fun.
But,
Blocks are
but
fun.
no, and not just fun. With somebody at like Khalil Ware's size, I figured that he would get his hands on more. And again, this nitpicking. I don't want to do negative, right? I don't want to be negative on. We're feeling the vibes are high. I'm not trying to bring that vibes down, but it's just surprising to me that Khalil Ware just doesn't get his hand on many of those. But great game overall. We were talking about Norman Powell, Bam Adebayo. Bam Adebayo didn't even have like a standout game. Like I didn't watch that game and think, "Ooh, what a great game by Bam." But then you kind of look at, and I didn't think he played bad, but it wasn't a standout game. He still put up 18 points, 13 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 steal, 3 offensive rebounds. A solid game from top to bottom.
Yeah, but that's a great thing about this team, right? That's a great thing about this team is that it doesn't matter on any given night. Anybody can show up. Last night, it was Norman and Kalel. Some nights it's going to be Norman and Bam. Some nights it's going to be Herro and Norman. Some nights it'll be Herro and Bam or Herro and Kalel. So it's going to be a couple different people every single game. And, it just so happens that yesterday's game was the game that Khalil Ware. It was the Khalil Ware game. He had the most plus minus of the team. He had the most rebounds. He had 20 points. And it was his night to shine against again a tough matchup in Andre Drummond. So we have to start questioning: is Khalil Ware finally getting into the shape or I guess how we wanted to see him play? I think yes.
Yeah, man. He only played 26 minutes. In 26 minutes, he got 20 points, 16 rebounds, 2 for 2 from 3. Khalil Ware, if he continues to do this, it is another steal because the Miami Heat, not only do they develop players that are from the G League and things like that, but they're great at finding talent in the draft. Pell Larson drafted. Jovic, okay, I think he's going to be good. We still have that potential. We still haven't seen it. Khalil Ware, like you see this Miami Heat team, and this is by far and away, and let me look at the camera when I say this, the best run organization in the NBA. They do the most with the least, and everybody's pushing them like, "Hey, man, sign a big name, sign a big name." And they'll if the price is right, they'll do it, but they're not pushing anything because if they don't have to push it, they'll figure out how to win without doing it, and they'll just hijack the Clippers All-Star Norm Powell for absolutely nothing. Just great overall, and let me just quickly change this right quick. This was the starting lineup last night. Now, we have the next 5 games. We have Dallas tonight at home. Then we have the Mavericks on your birthday at home. Then we have that big game against the Pistons on Saturday night, which is going to be a huge game, kind of a litmus test to see where we're at. We have the Clippers back at home, and then we play against the Dallas again. So, Dallas, in the form that they're coming in, I would hope that at home we could win that game. The Bucks without Giannis, I would hope we could win that game. Hypothetically, we could go into that Pistons game 13-6. That's game number 19. The Pistons game is game number 20, that magic number 20 that we were talking about. So that's a big game. The reason I bring this up, though, is because we are 17 games into the season, and I told you that's the most games that Tyler Herro could miss and still be technically available for the All-NBA team. Apparently, Tyler Herro is going to play tonight against the Dallas Mavericks. He makes his debut of the season. What are you expecting to see from Tyler Herro? And are you expecting him to start?
I'm not sure if he's going to start. I'm expecting a 50-point game right now. I'm just kidding. I'm expecting him to run. I'm expecting him to run. I'm expecting him to get his feet wet, to start gelling with his teammates, to understanding this offense. I don't expect him to have a fantastic night. I expect it to be a rough night, maybe 12 points, maybe 13 points, a rough shooting night, depending on how long Spo gives him, a run for. But I don't expect him to just come in and then just be the Tyler Hero that we know and that we expect. I think he's coming off of a tough injury, an ankle injury where he had surgery. He'll be back. And yeah, he's been practicing, but we all know, Danny, practice is different than games, right? And the speed is completely different in the games. And look, I expect him to get out there, to get his feet wet, and hopefully have a good game. But if he doesn't, I wouldn't be surprised, right?
I know I wouldn't be surprised either because I feel like sitting on the sidelines and watching the last 17 games, I'm sure he mentally put himself on the court while he's watching these games. He's like, "Oh, if I was on there, I would have made that run also." He must be excited to see how everybody's eating. Look at all these open shots that Jaime is creating for other people, that Davion is creating for other people when they drive to the basket. Now, the only thing is Tyler, I don't think he's as good as some other players as taking players one-on-one in that ISO because there's a lot of ISO here. But maybe he'll prove me wrong and maybe he'll look good. Now, I don't think he starts. I think he comes off the bench. But in a hypothetical world that he does start, because Andrew Wiggins is out, I would assume this is what a starting lineup with Tyler looks like. Because I think Pell Larson is the one that gets sent to the bench if he were to start tonight. I don't think he does. I think that he bring him along slowly. But if he does, do you see this being the starting lineup?
I don't know. I mean, as long as Wiggins is out, yes. As long as Wiggins is out, yes. But once Wiggins comes back, I think we'll have to adjust a little bit. Maybe Kalel comes out of the starting lineup, and that would be your starting lineup, right? With Wiggins in there, Bam, Powell, Herro, and Davion Mitchell. I think, fortunately for the Heat, I don't think you can remove Davion Mitchell from the starting lineup. I think he is part of the reason why that starting lineup is so good. The engine that he plays with, the defense that he shows. I just don't think that you can take him out. He's been playing too good. So, I mean, why not? Why not have Herro start off the bench tonight? But this looks like a pretty good starting lineup too, right, Danny? With Davion, Herro, Bam, Powell, and Kel'el Ware. I mean, it looks like a very, very, very good starting lineup for the Heat.
Yeah, I think Pell's going to be the odd man out, and when Wiggins come back, I mean, look, Kel'el Ware and Bam aren't playing a lot of minutes together anyway. They start together, but after a couple of minutes, they sit Ware and they start to stagger them. So I mean, I guess it's not a big deal. Now, it's something that you like to bring up all the time. You like to bring up the fact that it's not who starts, it's who finishes. So we can end it on this topic real quick. Are you surprised that Kel'el Ware isn't finishing the games?
No, I'm not surprised.
Jaime Jaquez. Okay.
I'm not surprised. I mean, Jaime Jaquez has to be the one finishing games. I think it's going to be more of a matchup. I think if the other team, Danny, has a big center, you'll see Kel'el Ware sometimes finishing the games, but I'm not surprised. I think you need your best five players out there, and unfortunately for right now, even though he's playing fantastic, your best five players are Bam, Jaime, Wiggins, Norman Powell, and Davion Mitchell right now. No. And if Wiggins is unfortunately injured, you have to give those minutes to Pell Larson just because of the fantastic defense that he plays with those starters. So, no, I'm not surprised that he's not finishing games, but there's still a lot of season left, right? We're 17 games in. We have about 65 games left in the season. So a lot can happen between now and the rest of the season. We might see Kel'el Ware finishing games, at the end of the season. We're going to have to wait and see. But before we go, let's remind the folks that they can catch our episode now that Tyler Herro is coming out. We can catch the episode that we taped last week that talks about who's going to be missing minutes now that Tyler Herro is coming back. We talked about Pell Larson. We talked about other folks losing minutes, Drew Smith. But now's a good time if you haven't gone to check it out. Battered Heat fans, go check out that episode, right?
Absolutely. Now, full disclosure, that was before Andrew Wiggins got injured. But Andrew Wiggins do you know when he's coming back? I haven't heard anything.
I don't know when he's coming back, but I should find out today. I'll find out today, and it should be up on my social media at Dani. I'll throw it up there.
Yeah, make sure you do that. All right. If you're listening on audio, please leave us 5 stars and a comment. If you're watching on YouTube and you haven't already for some reason, please do us a favor. Like and subscribe to the channel. And we will be back tomorrow talking, hopefully, a Dallas Mavericks victory and maybe some other stuff. So until the next one, have a good one.